laughter. You see our clap to the beat and the strumming of our guitars. You see everything you want to see. You see only what you have been shown. What you don't see, what you don't know, are the stories of our countries. The stories of our suffering, and the stories of our lives. The stories that never fit into your stereotypical box of a loud Latino. Did you know?
My grandfather and his siblings, they ran a pork business. One of my great uncles was blackmailed and murdered. Since then, my grandfather quit the pork business.
5 years ago, Mexicans could move about our country freely. We could go to the beaches, to small towns, or even just walk to the park without feeling threatened. Now, the highways are filled with soldiers. Helicopters monitor the beaches. And every morning, we wake up to read about the multiple homicides from the night before. Ever since the drug war began in 2006, Mexicans can no longer feel safe, and we have been deprived of many people, places, and things that we love.
2 years ago, when I volunteered in a school in a poor neighborhood in the capital of Brazil, I entered a classroom, and there was a group of students surrounding when I found out there was a boy holding a gun that he found in his father's drawer. At the age of 11, he and his older brother worked in drug trafficking for a living. When he came back this summer, I found out that he had been assassinated by a competing group of drug traffickers. The worst thing is that his story is not the only one.
My grandfather was killed in 1978 when Nicaragua was suffering from the Somoza dictatorship. He committed the crime of being a journalist. 1 year after his death, a revolution took place in Nicaragua. Now, part of those who made the revolution possible are in power, but unfortunately the story has repeated itself. The press is still intimidated and threatened and controlled by the government.
Racism, discrimination against the people from their own country, the people who the land has belonged for 8 generations. Now, Indio, Cholo, Loco, they are no longer words to describe an ethnic and special group. Now, they are part of a social lower status. One of my best friends is part of those groups.
4 years ago, I was sitting in the metro in Madrid when a man approached a woman who looked Latina, she was from Peru, to leave him her seat. She refused. He argued that the seats in the public transportation were only for true Spanish citizens. She started crying as she shouted, in a train car in which just 2 of us, 2 teenagers, supported her. Immigrants from Latin America to Spain face an endless amount of racism from some sectors of our society, who seem to have forgotten the immigration that took place in the other direction for generations.
Over the last decade, Trinidad and Tobago has had a dramatic increase in crime. So much so that we are ranked as one of the top 10 most murderous countries in the world.
Because of this, we are afraid to take even our own public transportation, for fear of being attacked, robbed, kidnapped, or worse.
It's happened to our friends, people we love, so we don't want to take the chance.
On January 11th of 2007, my parents were invited to get involved with a march that supported peace and freedom of expression. I was not allowed to go because I was too young to get involved. Hours later, my parents came, running, sweating, and with dirt all around them. The opposition had taken control over the regional capital building. My parents were screaming and crying. All the cars were lit up on fire on the streets, and people were with sticks, stones, and even machetes. My friend died that day. He was tortured and murdered because he was trying to defend his father.
6 years ago, me and my friend were riding the school bus back home. was stopped. Men from the illegal armed forces of Colombia, what we call FARC, came into the bus. We were all faced to look down. Suddenly, when I looked back again, my friend was missing. She went missing for 4 years until she was rescued. She was taken to the jungle. She was taught how to murder, and she was obliged to combat with only 13 years old.
Also seen as a peaceful country with no army and no dictatorship, Costa Rica has been suffering an increasing crime rate and murder rate. All this because of the high drug trafficking that is in the area. Friends, family, everyone. No one is safe from this murders.
We've all had our ups and downs. We're used to adversity. But we're still standing. And we're strong. We're survivors.
Guatemala is an extremely diverse country with over 20 Mayan dialects. Thousands of tourists come to our country every year to visit our beautiful landscapes and people.
Despite the desperation from the war, Mexicans have still had the courage to talk against violations of human rights. In recent years, resistance movements have gained media attention, and Mexicans have put pressure on the governments to do something against the innocent deaths. This shows a great unity between the Mexicans, and this shows that we still have faith in Mexico.
In Brazil, movements and protests against violence and drugs are increasing year by year, as well as laws against corruption, which has had an impact in our government and Congress.
Because I love waking up in the morning, looking at my mom, and smelling the fresh air that comes from the window. Like the sound of the birds, and going up to my room, and just see and observe the major volcano we have in front. And that loss I had with my best friend, nobody's gonna take.
Although racism still permeates sectors of our society, the new generations have come to recognize the bonds that unite Iberia and Latin America. Us, these new generations, we praise that union, and LACE is but an example of such praise.
Because I will never change the place where I grew up, the people, the dances, the culture, the landscapes I can enjoy every time I want.
Today, Bolivian population have kept strong, and we're still fighting for our rights.
Costa Ricans decided to defend what was theirs, and they stopped the movement of big corporations that were trying to take petroleum, oil, and other minerals from our land, preserved 50% of forests of the country.
Next time you make a judgment, you say something, a joke.